So let's think about impurities. We thought about impurities not detected. No, this is an example of impurities not detected by the detector and inaccurate quantification due to differences in response factors. So here's a published example. It's Gemcitabine, which is Gemzar. It's an anti-cancer drug. Been on the market. I think it's off patent now, so it's generic. We saw the method that was in place was monitoring at 275 nanometers, and gemcitabine, do I have the? We saw only one degradation product. It was the beta-uridine under whatever condition we were looking at. So it's a poor mass balance. If you look at the mass balance, for example, you have 86% potency, and we're seeing 3.5% increase in rel subs. And so we have this relative mass balance deficit is real high for all of them, and it's pretty consistent, 70-80%. So we're only detecting 10, 20, 30% of what we should be detecting. When we looked at the chemistry a little closer, looked at some literature searching, and we found that the intermediate, to get to the beta-uridine, there's an intermediate, and it's this hydrolysis by attack right here, which takes away the chromophore. So you see this deamination. Involved in that deamination is this first step, and that takes away the chromophore. So it's like, oh, so how are we going to detect that chromophore? So we changed it down to 205 nanometer, and now we start to see the peaks. We see more peaks, and we discovered a peak was co-eluting with a parent as well. At 275, it didn't make a difference in the quantitation, but at this lower wavelength it did. But the idea being choice of wavelength and understanding the chemistry can be critical in solving the problem, and the new relative mass balance deficit using this new method was pretty reasonably low and could be assigned to just differences in response factor. But the important thing to emphasize there is that you got to look at the chemistry and not just peaks in a chromatogram. As analytical chemists, it can be tempting to just throw techniques at it, and don't forget to look at the chemistry. And this is the total chemistry that was we elucidated, and you can see there are actually some of these peaks. It's not just here's one with no chromophore, here's one with no chromophore, and so you wouldn't even detect them, or very low chromophores, right? So you have to go very low wavelength.